rebelling with revenge saving. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of Heiser Says. Grab your hashtag not sponsored cheap coffee and let's have a look at this article from CNBC because it's discussing quite an interesting phenomenon with regards to the, youth in China, the Gen Zers. Now let's just check out this little chart here. This is from Trading Economics. This is the youth unemployment rate in China, and it's at 13.2%. Now, my understanding is that this doesn't count graduates. And what was it, over 11 million graduates? Record number of university graduates have just come out in the last year. They're not counted in this until after 1 year. So, I mean, we can trust the figures from China as much as you want, but 13% is still over double their unemployment rate, which is about 5%. We have a look here. I mean, the max data is 2021, so it's a bit of a joke. But still, that's pretty high. And you've got a whole group of young people that are graduating from prestigious universities, working hard, and they're unemployed. They're getting no opportunities. So let's have a look at this, and this is how they're getting revenge. But I'd also say it's a symptom of the pandemic interventions. Whenever there's a big crisis, I think in the 70s it was with the oil crisis, you could see it flow through in population numbers because you've got a whole generation that's scared, that have had uncertainty, so they will not have kids or not as many kids. Their careers are stalled. They'll spend less. They'll save more. We're seeing this here. So China's young people are revenge saving, even as Gen Zers around the world are piling up debt. Revenge saving has become a trend on Chinese social media websites, with Chinese youth setting extreme money-saving targets. So this is like insane FIRE movement, financially independent, retire early. In some ways, it's a good thing, but it's also a really bad thing if you want your economy to keep moving. Savings measures also include dining at community canteens, usually for the elderly, where fresh meals are sold at relatively cheap prices. Others are finding savings partners on social media, forming circles that ensure members stick with their savings goals. So let's look at this. Post-pandemic, revenge spending is still continuing, but one part of the world, there's something starkly opposite happening, revenge saving. Rather than splurging on impulsive purchases, China's young are saving ferociously as the world's second largest economy remains in the doldrums. Revenge saving has become a trend on Chinese social media websites, with Chinese youth setting extreme monthly savings targets. A 26-year-old with the username Little Zai Zai is detailing her attempts to cap her monthly spending at just 300 Chinese yuan. $40, 300 yuan. That's nothing. Wow. Okay. In this coffee, $3 at 7-Eleven up the road, 3 Australian dollars. So that'd be a chunk of your monthly budget right there. A recent video showed how she curtailed her daily meal expenses to just 10 yuan. Could you do that in Australia? Like, say, could you get away in Australia with $2 a day? Oh, maybe a bag of potatoes, maybe some onions and some butter. You could do that. It wouldn't be the healthiest, but it wouldn't be the worst. I think you could do it. You'd be struggling with your meat. You'd have to just maybe bulk buying, but then you got to invest money to it. It'd have to be potatoes and butter. Others are finding saving partners on social media. These partners form a saving circle that ensures its members stick with their goals. Saving measures include dining at community canteens, usually for the elderly, where fresh meals are sold at relatively cheap prices. Chinese youth are having a revenge-saving mentality, says China Market Research Group's Managing Director, Sean Rain. Unlike youths in the 2010s, who often spend more than they earned and borrowed money to buy fancy items like Gucci handbags and Apple iPhones. Young Chinese have started saving more, he told CNBC. Young people probably sense the same thing that everyone else does. The economy just isn't doing that well. Other telltale signs of younger Chinese tightening their purse strings are trending buzzwords such as reverse consumption and a stingy economy. The former refers to making a more conscious effort to cut spending, while the latter connotes actively seeking out discounts and deals when shopping. This is in stark contrast to the wider trend among the youth, particularly Gen Zers born between 1997 and 2012, who are reportedly financing their expenditures, such as travel via debt, according to a Prosperity Index report by Inuit. Rather than cutting expenses to boost savings, 73% of Gen Zers in the US say they would rather have a better quality of life than extra money in the bank. Well, there you go. This is why the US Gen Zers are going to be owned by the Chinese Gen Zers right here. Okay? This is the difference in mentalities. No choice but to spend less. So why are Chinese youngsters getting increasingly circumspect with their spending? Young people probably sense the same thing that everyone else does. The economy just isn't doing as well, said Christopher Bedore, Deputy Director for China Research at Gavekal Dragonomics. Total RMB deposits by households in the first quarter of 2024 saw an 11.8% year-on-year growth, according to a recent report from the People's Bank of China. While China's first quarter GDP beat expectations to log in 5.3% year-on-year growth, forecasts still point to a continued slowdown, with the International Monetary Fund seeing a 4.5% growth in 2025. Now, this is, okay, it's still growing, it's still technically not in recession, but that's a big deal for China, for a country of that size and that population. And now you've got more and more Western companies are pulling out. Compounding the difficulty is a tight labor market that is especially bad for the young people, experts told CNBC. People refusing to spend money is a true phenomenon here, said Zhai Mao, an assistant professor at NYU Shanghai. For some of the young people, it's simply because they cannot find a job, or they just found that it's more difficult to increase their income. They have no choice but to spend less money, she added. Unemployment rate among youths aged 16 to 24 came in at 14.2% in May, well above the national average of 5%. While there are no official statistics for monthly wage earned by undergraduates, a survey found that the average monthly salary for those with undergraduate degrees earned in 2023 was 6,050 yuan, $832. So you've got here, okay, so the average earnings of an undergraduate degree is 6,000 yuan. And what's this person trying to cut their spending to? What is it, 10 yuan a day for meals? 300 a month. 300 a month monthly spending. You'd have to be living at home with your folks and not paying rent there, wouldn't you? That's insane. 1% higher from a year earlier, according to domestic reports by MCOS research and published on local media. Confidence and animal spirits have disappeared among the youth. It'll take years, if not longer, for a boom market before they feel comfortable to revenge spend, said Rain. So there we have it, everyone. Let's have a look. I want to look here at another country. Okay, we've got China here. Let's look at Spain, because it was the poster child of youth unemployment as an issue in Europe. I remember speaking about that many times. I want to see what that is at the moment, because China, 14% youth unemployment, that's not a good thing. So we've got labor, youth unemployment. Oh shit. So it's going down. It's going down from 29% in October down to 25, 26. Bloody, what is going on in Spain? Look at that. Look, it's still terrible. It is still terrible. This is the problem with the youth unemployment, because this causes generational issues. That's still really high. And we're going back to 87. I mean, 40% in 86. 40% in 95. Shit. 50%. 55%. Okay, let's compare it to Australia. What do we got here? Asia, Australia. There we go. What's our youth unemployment rate? Youth unemployment rate, 9.5%. Pretty much 10%, guys. I mean, look at that chart. It's peaking at 20%. And this is another reason why people want to come to Australia. Because you can get work. I know everyone loves to bitch and moan and go, why are people coming here? And love to complain about the issues that we're frustrated with here in Australia. But, I mean, look at that one stat. Okay, if you want to go somewhere and raise a family and have children, you want to be in a country where you've got 29% youth unemployment, 15% youth unemployment, or under 10% youth unemployment. There you go. There's another reason why people want to come to this country. It is pretty awesome when you compare us to a lot of other places in the world. Australia's got a lot going for it. It really does. So let's have a bit of a chat about this one, guys. So this is an interesting phenomenon that we're seeing here, and I suspect this is a generation that in some regards has been damaged by the pandemic, and, the opportunities that they had are disappearing. And as I said, it's going to take time for this to heal. This may have flow-on effects. A continued slowdown in the Chinese economy will flow on and impact Australia. Will we have as many people coming over here to migrate, to study here? Will our iron ore exports still be as lucrative? Honestly, I think in the big picture things, it won't impact Australia that much. There'll still be a class of people that'll be sending their kids overseas. If not, probably more so now, for more opportunities. Because if back home, it's unemployment, laying down, it's not what you want. What do you reckon, guys? What's your opinion on this? Are you revenge saving? That's an interesting one. I mean, at least they're not digging themselves into debt. Maybe some people learn some hard lessons to not, having savings, having a buffer can reduce your anxiety significantly. It doesn't take much. It does not take much. That's the one thing Dave Ramsey hammers home again and again and again. That's the one thing we need to teach our youth, teach our children. My daughter yesterday, she had a sleepover at a friend's house. She came back and her friend's mother was saying how she'd explained to her how she's got her investments and is buying shares and is getting passive income. She's collecting bottles. And we said, well, yeah, every $500 she builds up in her share trading platform, she'll buy some more shares, usually something that generates an income so it can grow. We want our kids to learn about passive income and investing. And I'm explaining it to my children like, okay, Frederick, if you can invest to the point where you get $1,000 every month, and you could probably do that with 100 grand, 200 grand, probably, 200 grand. And you just have that sitting there, and then that's a money machine that will feed you every month. You don't touch the capital. It just pays you money out every month. It's a dividend. And there you go. Your food's sorted forever. And then you go spend your earnings on something else, on a new investment, and build up. We'll have to see. Maybe if you've got American youth, American Gen Z is racking up the debt, not learning the lessons. You've got the Chinese youth here saving their money. We'll have to see where it goes, guys. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Hope you've had a great week, and I'll see you in the next episode of Heiser Says. Bye for now. Where's that outro button? There it is. Take care.